I'm not paid to be a role model. I'm paid to wreak havoc on the basketball court.
There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up. Yes! Is it the shoes?
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
One of the world's most talented athletes is retiring. It is true what somebody said today. There was Babe Ruth and Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan and Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky in front. Saved by Flaherty. The rebound. Score!
Favre just threw it perfectly right over him to Kory David. Only Brett Favre could do that. I don't care what you say.
This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Game on! Game on!
Oh yeah, baby. 4 o'clock on a beautiful, beautiful Thursday afternoon. It is time for WHPC Sports Talk here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Your host for today, in for Matt Leonard, Joshua Umahi, and joined by me, I have my guy, Kory David. What's up?
Hey guys, feeling good today. We have some sports, we have some good stuff, we have some bad stuff to talk about. We have some possible rumors.
Yeah, we got
Spider Alert is still active.
Spider Watch. It's been a couple shows off for Spider Watch, but we're gonna bring it back today.
Especially with Stephen A's comments.
Oh Lord. My favorite Stephen A. Smith. You know how I feel about him.
He just came back, but he already starting drama.
Bro, did you see him come back with like that fresh orange cream suit that first day?
Nah, he wasn't looking. That wasn't it. Why is sports analysts out here fighting and stuff like that in the media? You seen Jalen Rose took a shot at Skip?
Yeah, I did see that. That was how many points did Skip Bayless average in JV?
I think like 0.4 or 4 points.
Jeez. And he got the nerve to call out LeBron and LeBron's kids and all that. I don't know. I won't speak on how many points I averaged in high school, but once again,
probably more than Skip.
Oh, come on now. Anybody can average more than 1.4 points per game. But yeah, like Kory alluded to, we got a lot to get to today. The Mets and Yankees, they proved, contrary to popular belief in New York City, that the sky is not falling, in fact, in New York. I mean, listen, the Mets and Yankees, they were sliding a little bit. Yankees a little more so. Mets lost the first 2 games of a huge series against the Braves, huge rivalry series, huge series and with implications for the division. So let's get to that.
I was going to say, you said that the sky's not falling. Well, speaking of Stephen A. Smith, what he said was, they stink, they're garbage. I'm like, you're into this way too much. Just because they had a 5-game losing streak, the season is still long. Like, there's still enough time to do whatever they want to do during the season. So I'm not really in panic mode with the Yankees. And the Mets, they all lost a couple games, and
one couple.
Yeah, they're still in good standing.
Well, you know, New York fans, we tend to overreact to a lot of things, and you mentioned that Stephen A. clip. It kills me that he kept bringing up Hank Steinbrenner, who is actually no longer with us. So that tells you Stephen A.'s vast baseball knowledge there. Speaking of New York fans and specifically Mets fans, I did mention I'm in for Matt Leonard, but he has some. I'm sure he has some interesting thoughts about yesterday's game. It was a very entertaining game for the New York Mets. Brett Beatty, first major league at bat, he hit a homer. I get a little hairy in the 9th inning. So, Matt Leonard, are you with us?
I'm with you, Josh.
What's going on, man? How is it down there in South Carolina?
This is Braves country, I'll tell you right now. Ooh. So I'm in enemy territory doing some recon, but it's okay.
I understand that. Well, we watched yesterday's Mets game. Like I said, it's definitely got a little sweating some bullets there in the 9th inning with Trevor May pitching the 9th. Obviously, Buck brought in Edwin Diaz in the 8th inning, which I thought was a good move facing the heart of the order for the Braves.
Let me tell you right now, I'm all for Diaz pitching the 8th there. I love that Buck's moving him around, pitching him when the good hitters are hitting.
Right.
But was Trevor May really your choice for the 9th inning? I understand his bullpen's depleted, and he's coming back. He want to prove himself. And maybe it's not the highest leverage situation you go into, but they had a 4-1 lead entering the 9th. They won by 2.
That's my thing.
With Trevor May, high leverage is anything less than a 10-run lead.
That's my thing, too, Matt. It's like we talk about all the great things, or some of the great things Billy Epler has done since he took over as Mets GM. The offensive additions with the bench, Vogelback, Nate Gwynn, Darren Ruff off the bench as well. Again, it didn't look bad in his bullpen outing, I might say. But
yeah.
That's good. That's the good. But we talk about the bad. Again, Michael Givens was the only quote-unquote improvement to this bullpen. So my question would be, if not Trevor May in the ninth after you've already used Edwin Diaz, who? Who do you go to?
I personally would rather have Trevor May than how Givens has looked. I'm not saying a lot. He was an acquisition. They gave up assets to bring this guy in here. Trevor May just got hurt and he's been back. I have to tell you all you need to know about the Michael Givens situation, but let me give you this. You said no, the sky's not falling. They proved the sky's not falling. I have proof the sky's not falling for the New York Mets. You want to hear it?
Sure.
So as everybody at this station, all of our listeners know, I'm a big Mets fan. I'm a bit of a troll when it comes to sports. I'll admit it.
Oh, yeah. Come on now.
I'll admit it. And if Anthony's listening somewhere, this is not Yankee hate I'm about to spew. Don't worry. But let's see. I'm currently, like you said, down in South Carolina. I'm at an outlet mall down there, and it's really nice. And they have a really big lids locker room store. You know, the hat store. They have all the jerseys and everything. It's really great.
Very, very nice.
And I walk in, and they have a whole display of Atlanta Braves gear, because I'm in Braves country, technically. Mm-hmm. And you walk into a store, and naturally they ask you, need help with anything? You have any questions? And I just straight up asked, yeah, who's in first place in the National League East? I'm just wondering.
Even when
the response, no.
Yeah. Even when Matt Leonard is not here, he's keeping the trolling at a 10.
My boy Petty.
It's who I am, John.
He was the Petty. He met Petty.
Yeah. But those Yankees look good last night, too. I'll tell you right now. Josh Donaldson, fans complain about him all the time. I get it. You know, it's one swing of the bat. It's one at-bat, whatever you want to say. One game even for Josh Donaldson. That's a clutch hit. And they needed one so bad. And it wasn't just, he dunked a little single in and scored the winning run. That's a walk-off grand slam for Josh Donaldson last night. That is big.
My favorite, Josh Donaldson, as we've talked about.
A lot of our favorites. That's not what the discussion is here.
Yeah, that's. I was going to ask you about the Yankees next. What a huge win that was for them. I mean, again, the Mets lost.
Huge.
Yeah, the Mets lost 2 games. You know, morale was kind of low. You never want to lose 2 games to the team you're in a chase with for the division. But the Yankees, it was a very extended period here, like, almost a month and a half rather. And to get that win after you go down 4-0,
almost earlier about the All-Star break. They've been a bit of a skid.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Yankee fans and for the Yankees organization, they can turn it around after last night. But schedule's not getting much easier for them. I mean, the Mets come to town next week, and I'm not going to speak too much on that now. I'm saving that for when we sweep them.
Of course.
But, who's lined up to pitch, right?
Who is lined up to pitch? Let the people know.
Okay, for the New York Mets, as it stands now, we're going to get DeGrom and Scherzer in the Bronx.
Oof. Oof.
I believe it's Scherzer game 1, DeGrom game 2 is how it's lined up as we speak. Obviously, if something goes wrong with DeGrom or Scherzer, and DeGrom pitches tonight, they could, give him extra rest. He could duck a rival like a certain Phillies pitcher is doing. I don't think he's that guy, but hopefully he pitches in the Bronx. Hopefully him and Scherzer dominate there. Hopefully DeGrom dominates tonight in Atlanta. We split the series.
You know what, Matt? You brought up DeGrom and Scherzer. I don't know when it's gonna end for me, but every time I hear DeGrom and Scherzer and New York Mets in the same sentence, I get chills down my spine. It's crazy. So I can't wait for that Subway Series.
That's why Twitter and their Instagram, all their social media, loves posting every time Scherzer pitches. They love posting a picture of him in a Mets uniform and just caption it something like, Max Scherzer is a New York Met, and that's all they leave it at.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And speaking of the aces and DeGrom, what are you expecting out of him tonight? Huge game tonight versus Atlanta, the 4th game of the series here.
You have to remind me, who's on the mound for Atlanta again? I genuinely don't know.
Okay, let me take a look. I had it earlier. Max Fried. Max Fried.
Oh, he's back to the concussion IL, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to call it a fake injury, but it is funny to me how the Braves.
He had a concussion.
He did get a concussion, but again, he finished the game.
He smashed his ground on the turf. On the turf, excuse me.
I understand that, but I'm just saying he finished the game, and then it's convenient to put him on a 7-day IL to line him up perfectly against the Mets in a pivotal series. But he was injured, yes, but it's some savvy there too. I think
you can call it whatever you want. It's a fake injury. Tatis had a ring more, whatever you want to call it. But
the Fernando Tatis shot.
As we think, but that's not the point.
Absolutely.
I think DeGrom pitches well tonight. They're saying he's going to get to his max tonight, about 90. bit of a longer leash. He started about 75. He's working his way up.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Michael about this earlier this week, Michael Merlo, our good friend, and he said DeGrom should not have full freedom until October baseball. I fully agree with that statement.
I agree with that. Listen, this guy is like it's DEFCON 5 in terms of the National League. He's like the lethal weapon we have, and I'm a believer. If we have a healthy Jacob deGrom, a healthy Max Scherzer, I believe they're at the top of the National League, right up there with the Dodgers, I'd say.
If I'm Buck Showalter, I take DeGrom out after around 90 pitches, send him back to the clubhouse, and put him in bubble wrap and just preserve him for the next 5 days. I do that every day until October hits.
I'm not inclined to. Actually, I'm inclined to not agree, or I'm inclined to. I agree with you. That's what I'm trying to say here.
You mean to preserve this man at all costs if they want any kind of long postseason run.
Bubble wrap, put him in the freezer, whatever you got to do. We need that man in October. What did you think of
Syndergaard's old cryo chamber?
Oh yes, yes. What did you think of Brett Beatty's at bat yesterday with the family there, and it was a huge moment.
The home run?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I assume that's a big at bat for him. His first major league at bat guy, it's a home run. He's proven he can hit any level he goes at, and there were actually concerns. Oh, the major leagues are different. I agree, they are different. When the guy's hot, the guy's hot. And people don't realize it. He was in AAA for a week and batted almost 400 during that week.
Yeah, and the sneaky thing I saw from last night's broadcast, he hits lefties pretty well, too. And you saw he had some solid contact against one of the Braves relief pitchers. Yeah.
They have good relief pitchers, too. And is the lineup out? Is he hitting versus Fried tonight, or they have somebody else in there?
I've yet to see the lineup come out. Hopefully it can get released in the middle of the show.
I don't know if it's that time of day. Yeah, usually around now is when it comes out. But I hope Beatty's in the lineup tonight. I hope they don't make him a platoon guy. They did that with Conforto when he came up, and we saw what happened to him. He couldn't hit lefties for years because they just wouldn't let him do it as a young ball player.
Right. The more at-bats for Brett Beatty, the better. Any final thoughts for us, Matt, as we get you out of here?
Final thoughts, I would say... Oh, that's right. I have some insight on your Spider Watch situation.
Oh, okay.
Going back to, again, the lid store I was in, they have a clearance rack, and on that clearance rack, it is full of Donovan Mitchell Utah Jazz T-shirts and jerseys. Now, I'm not saying the Lids locker room and the outlets in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, knows more about the front office than the insider does, but all I'm saying is I think it's apparent even more to me now. He will not be in Utah come tip-off of the season.
Well, I do.
What that means he's in the Garden or what?
Well, man, I do remember, as soon as the news started breaking out about Donovan Mitchell, there was a bunch of jerseys in Utah that went on clearance, and they were selling them markdown prices. It was very cheap to get a Donovan Mitchell jersey.
Wow.
And this is in Utah. So
that's kind of like when Carson Wentz, even before we got traded, when he started playing really bad and getting hurt for the Eagles, I remember Dick's Sporting Goods dropped an ad saying Carson Wentz jerseys are $10. I remember someone saying to me, "You like jerseys? Dick's is selling $10 jerseys." And I saw the ad, and I was like, I really would never wear that.
No, absolutely not. That's great stuff. I guess everyone is asking the question, what's really going on in Utah? What's going on in Utah?
What's going on? You can't see my hand right now. I'm doing the Brian Windhorst finger point. What's going on in Utah's front office? But I'll leave you with that. Have a good show, boys. Good so far.
All right, awesome, Matt. Good luck with everything down there, all right?
Thank you. I'll see you next week, guys.
Yes, sir. Matt Leonard pretty much every day here on WHPC Sports Talk. And if you want to join the conversation, 516-572-7440 is the number to dial. That was the big story in New York sports. The Mets and Yankees getting some big wins, Kory. But the biggest news in sports as a whole, it seems like the Deshaun Watson saga has reached seemingly reached a conclusion. We think.
It has. This whole situation has been a mess.
Yeah, a mess in more ways than one. And Deshaun Watson, if you haven't heard the news that broke today, so he was initially suspended 6 games by Judge Sue Robinson,
and he was fined $1 to $2 million.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
the NFL appealed that, saying, I'm not sure on the fine information, but they definitely wanted him suspended a full season, right? They from their standpoint.
Yeah, they were trying to get him suspended for a full season.
Right.
I guess that with the news coming out today that he will only be suspended for 11 games and he will only be fined $5 million. It's their way of having a somewhat compromise, I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
He doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't. And this is where we're not CNN or MSNBC or Fox News.
Football guy.
Well, we're definitely not Fox News.
We're sports. We're sports talk.
We're sports talk. So this is where I want to come down on this. 11 games. I feel like this was going to be the outcome all along. And what I mean by that is, again, he's coming back for the damn Texans game at Houston, right? That's when he's coming back.
I think so.
That's crazy.
Because before it was planned that he would be back by the Baltimore game.
Yeah, but my point being, the NFL it didn't matter what Judge Sue Robinson ruled on this. The NFL was always going to have the power how many games they suspend him. Okay. So I'm not trying to get into a conspiracy bag here, but you're going to tell me they didn't have, an 11-game suspension where he comes back to Houston first game and plays 6 games. Listen,
it's all about dollars and cents.
It doesn't matter. Again, you hate to think this because this is a serious issue, but the NFL has shown you every single thing that they think about, make an action on, plan out, schedule. It's all about money. It's a money grab.
I want to point this out because I'm looking up Twitter. Right, somebody said this. Because I guess Jimmy Haslam, the general manager of the Cleveland Browns, they were being asked about the situation today.
Right.
So in the middle of questioning about Deshaun Watson's behavior, Jimmy Haslam says it's important to remember Deshaun Watson is a 26-year-old and he's a hell of a football player. I mean, a hell of a quarterback. Oh. What does that have to do with anything?
That's cute. That's cute, Jimmy Haslam. That's cute. That's real cute. What's funny is that
makes you seem real insensitive of what the actual seriousness of the things that he did.
Bro, I'm telling you, that blew my mind, and the fact that he name dropped Kareem Hunt in that statement too. I was like, again, Kareem Hunt did something bad too, but to just drop his name and he came back from this.
Look. Kareem Hunt is like 50 Cent with the Floyd Mayweather. It was like, he did this. Why are you bringing me up?
Exactly. It was just a wild thing.
Well, they are going through their own little issues as well, because you remember Kareem Hunt still actively has a trade request out there.
And I expect him to get traded as well. And there's another name out there speculated in trade that I'm going to get to in a little bit. Once again, 516-572-7440 if you want to join the conversation.
But to get back on track and about the football aspect of this scenario.
Yes.
So you have Hobbs. I forgot what his name is. You still have Jacoby Brissett. I believe, who else did they sign? Josh Rosen. I believe they got Josh Rosen.
Yeah, they did.
And now you're coming down the final stretch of these preseason games where you have to figure out your roster and you have to figure out what you're going to cut. Now they're in a situation where they have to figure out with themselves, do we want to make a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? I know I butchered that name.
No, you got it right, Garoppolo.
I'm not even gonna say it because now it's
a tongue twister.
It is a tongue twister.
Yes, sir.
But I think that do you think that are we just gonna ride it out with Brissett, get Jimmy G? Is there any other possible trade scenarios? Maybe Sam Darnold?
I was thinking about that very question on the way here, and I actually saw a Browns longtime reporter, Mary Kay Cabot, actually reported this weeks ago. Ready? They said the Browns would be interested in Jimmy G. Again, this is weeks ago, if a suspension was to get stretched past 6 games. Well, we're here now. Maybe if it was just a 6-game suspension and it was like, oh, you can get by with Jacoby Brissett for 6 games, hopefully go 3-3 and get Deshaun Watson back. But this is 11 games now. If you're trying to win this division, which is a tough division, you got to have a real quarterback in there.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I know it's going to sound messed up. I'm Cleveland. Mm-hmm. You could go there's 2 ways you could go about this situation. One, you can punt on this season and hope that everybody forgets it, right?
It wouldn't be a bad option considering the circumstances.
Because I feel as though in this division, I believe the Ravens and the Bengals are stronger, and I feel like it's more of the foregone conclusion that those two are going to come out of it.
In my opinion, yeah.
But this other scenario is you try your hardest to win these games because I hate to say it, unfortunately, winning cures all. And like people in sports fans' minds, you win a couple games, you win a bunch of games, people tend to forget about stuff. And I'm like, as wrong as that is, that happens in society. If you look at Antonio Brown, that's what. We could say all the bad stuff about him, but when he's actually producing, we don't care. The people didn't care about the stuff that he said about the Raiders general manager.
Yep.
They didn't care about him missing the game because he burnt his feet. They don't do none of that. And then you still have teams that are out there like this. We want to win, so hey, maybe look at AB. I'm like, that just shows you that in certain situations, I'm trying to say they care more about winning in those situations than they actually do care about the controversy.
It's the old saying in the NFL. I mean, across all sports, if you win, stuff like that matters a lot less. And you brought up Antonio Brown. Again, everybody was a big ruckus, and rightfully so. Yeah, put that ish on,
he may be done in the NFL, but he got to catch a dance.
That's a hit, man. That's really a hit.
I'm going to tell you right now. Mark it down. Hot take. AB dance is going to be the gritty of this year. And NFL celebrations, you will see multiple people going like this, left, right.
I will take it a step further. What you said is absolutely right, and it's going to be in the next Madden game this time next year. I promise you.
You ain't even got to wait to Madden. That's gonna be on Fortnite by.
Oh yes.
By November.
Man, how could we forget about Fortnite? But
I mean, they having a big time. You seen the Goku update?
Yeah, they doing their thing. It's people fell off of Fortnite, but I feel like it's coming back.
Yeah.
But back to AB, right? So again, he wins the Super Bowl. People care about it a lot less. Ben Roethlisberger, Big Ben. He had his issues off the field, got suspended.
But he was winning afterwards,
All
right?
All he did was win football games, and nobody cared.
But listen, that nobody cared. Well, guess what? When he was trashed these last couple years, he wasn't getting the best publicity. The only thing that helped bring it back was the fact that he was retiring, and everybody was like, "This, we're gonna send him off right."
Right. That's true. I did see a lot more negativity, we'll call it, come Ben's way when he wasn't playing well, when he wasn't winning games, and that's what happens with the NFL.
Somehow, some way, Daniel Jones still escapes these negative. No, I'm not gonna go in there.
You're not gonna go there?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. We talk about, quarterbacks we're not sure of. You brought up Daniel Jones. And, a lot of people aren't sure. They have, conflicting thoughts about Jimmy G. Is Jimmy G, we saw him in San Francisco. He's been to a couple of NFC championships. He's been to a Super Bowl.
To me, I don't know why. He's just he's one of those solid players where, you know who he's
Agreed.
like? He's like the, I want to say, the souped up version of Ryan Tannehill, where he relies heavy on the run game, but he does just enough to win you those games. He's a perfect game manager.
I think you're right, and the years in San Francisco have kind of shown you you can win a Super Bowl with Jimmy G. Now, the 49ers didn't win. They lost to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, but they led by 10 points in that game. I feel like Jimmy G, again, this is where I like him for the Browns.
People forget, he was on a little, before he tore his ACL, his first or second year.
2017, yep.
He was on a little trajectory to actually do something with the 49ers even back then.
Yeah, I forget what his exact stats were, but he showed some signs of being a really good quarterback that first year before he got hurt. And again, injury affects different quarterbacks differently, right? But this is where I like him for Cleveland, because what do we talk about Cleveland? They have a nice running game. They have Myles Garrett up front. They got a talented secondary, some linebackers.
I want to say talent. I mean, you got Denzel Ward. That's about it.
Everybody else, right? But they have... they have one linebacker whose name is escaping me. I think it's Owusu something. JOK is his initials. I'm really high on him.
Hold on, I think I know who you're talking about.
Jeremiah something.
Number 28.
Yeah,
he's like a safety, but he's a linebacker.
Yeah,
he's a tweener.
Tweener, yeah, but he's very talented.
From Notre Dame. Now I just remember the guy you're talking about. But the thing is, right? To get back to the Deshaun Watson situation, right?
Yeah.
You know who I would be? You know who has to feel the most angry about this whole situation? Now, I mean, besides the victim.
Yes,
I'm talking about from a football perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson. I've done everything right for my organization. Right. I can't get the contract. I can't get the type of contract that guy got, and he won't even play the first year.
And by the way, we talk about off the field. I almost said off the court. I got basketball in my mind. Off the field stuff with Deshaun Watson. I almost said Deshaun Jackson. Yeah, I got to get my head straight. But yeah, Deshaun Watson off the field stuff. Lamar Jackson, has Deshaun Watson ever won an MVP?
Nope.
Lamar Jackson has.
Yes.
I'm sure Lamar Jackson has won more playoff games than Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
So you're exactly right, and this is where I think people get mixed up.
I think they're tied. No, wait. Did the Bills beat the Texans that year? Or did the Texans beat the Bills?
Texans beat the Bills, so they're tied?
Yeah, they're tied.
But still, again, Lamar MVP, Deshaun no MVP. And my thing is, I think where people, because I believe Lamar Jackson should be the highest paid quarterback in the league. I really believe that. Now, he's not the best quarterback in the league, but I think where people get mixed up is, at least in terms of guaranteed money.
Okay. I'm not all the way with. I'm not all the way there with you.
I'm all the way there.
Okay, so the highest paid quarterback to me should be Patrick Mahomes.
Agree, but it's Deshaun Watson right now.
Listen,
in guaranteed money.
The tier that's right below Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Aaron Rodgers. Lamar Jackson is just right there. He should deserve to be paid more than Kyler Murray for sure.
Oh, come on now, absolutely.
And then I'm like this: if I'm Lamar, and I know many people said this, I'm not stepping on the field unless I have a contract. Like I'm not stepping on it. Now, even though you're still risking it in practice, I'm not going as hard as I would in practice as I got to protect myself. At the end of the day, this is a business, and each person is the CEO of their own brand and their own body. Like their body is their company. So you have to protect that. So I'm not necessarily sure what's going to happen because he has spoken out and said that there is a deadline, there's a cutoff point.
Yep.
Where at the start of the season, I don't really want to talk about my contract anymore.
Absolutely, and it's the cutoff point is week 1. If I don't have a contract the day before September 11th. Week 1, I'm not negotiating during the year, and as he should. He should say that.
Listen to this, and the sad reality of all this is, and this does come back to Deshaun Watson a little bit too, because this was mentioned on the Pat McAfee show, that if Lamar Jackson was a jerk and just a total jerk about this whole situation and said, you know what, I want out, and did all of the things that you see every quarterback do, including Deshaun Watson, which what he did to the Texans, Lamar would get more money. But because Lamar is such a stand-up guy and he's not going that route, he's not going to get paid as much as he could on market value, unfortunately.
And you know what's funny about that? All the character questions that were thrown Lamar Jackson's way, not just character, but can he play quarterback? There was a lot of stuff thrown at Lamar Jackson that are completely unfair from who he really is. You're absolutely right. He could be causing a huge stink right now saying, give me my money. Give me my money. I've won an MVP. I've won playoff games. Run me my bread.
People forget this. Everybody was clowning him, I want to say this year. I mean, coming into this season saying, he had a bad season last year, got injured and everything like that. 2 things I want to point out. He carried that team to 8 wins when that looked like a first overall pick of having the worst team in the NFL.
Yep.
Everybody was injured. They should have not have won as many games as they possibly did. And the reason why they did was because they have a guy in Lamar Jackson. So, and then the second point is, people talk about, his running style. That might be dangerous to offer him such a big contract. Most quarterbacks don't get injured on the run. You know where they get injured at? In the pocket. Lamar got injured in the pocket.
Because that's where you get hit the most, in the hardest.
Because he didn't have a line. And so that actually made him run more. I mean, his line isn't what it once was. I'm not even going to go in there with front office mistakes, letting Orlando Brown go.
Yeah.
The offensive line ain't what it once was, but he's still making it do what it do. And I had to commend him because he isn't making a stink about it. He's being a nice guy, and it just shows you that in the NFL, nice guys finish last. You could be a stand-up guy, and they'll walk on you. And especially with him having being his own representative, you would think that'd be a positive. Everybody in the media sees that definitely as a negative, even though him representing himself has made him more money, because if the average person who would have had an agent would have had him do a deal early before the season started, so that way he could get the guaranteed money. No, he waited and seen the QB market go up, and that way made himself more money.
He has made himself more money, and it's a large part because of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, we talked about it. It's not just that it's not the crazy thing that the Browns signed Deshaun Watson. They gave him a fully guaranteed $230 million contract, more than Josh Allen, more than Patrick Mahomes, and more than Lamar Jackson. If I'm Lamar Jackson, this guy is in my division. He has off-the-field issues. He hasn't won an MVP. I have. There is no reason, and again, Adam Schefter is saying that the number they're negotiating between is about like $160 million guaranteed, and that Deshaun Watson number of $230. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm not settling for less. Why would I settle for less?
And I'm surprised John Harbaugh ain't coming out and saying, is it John or Jim?
John
Harbaugh ain't coming out and defending Lamar Jackson's contract status even more, due to the fact that we all know this. I'm not just speaking. He saved your job. You were done. And, like, they were literally talking about he had 1 foot out of the door. Lamar Jackson's rookie year, there was nothing to be said, done. He was ready to go. Lamar Jackson gets him to the playoffs. You know what, John? We're gonna sign you we're gonna restructure your contract, give you an extension. So he saved your job. I'm just saying, it's time to pay the piper. Lamar needs to get his bread.
You are listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Joshua Umahi once again joined by Kory David. You can catch us on Facebook Live. You can also catch us on ntcradio.org, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Odyssey, and the WHPC app. There is no excuse to not listen to the sports show every day from 4 to 5 and Fridays 3:30 to 5. I don't care what you want to say. Oh, I was driving, Josh. Put the Odyssey app on. You definitely want to hear us every day. So, again, we're talking about the Deshaun Watson situation. We've led into the Lamar Jackson contract dispute. And, you know, another interesting point, because Lamar Jackson, you alluded to it, Kory, he's the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is the Ravens. It's not John Harbaugh, at least not right now. It might have started that way. But Lamar Jackson, what are the Ravens without Lamar Jackson right now? They ain't nothing.
Without Lamar Jackson,
they're, like you said, the worst team in the league. They'll have the highest odds for getting that number 1 pick.
Without Lamar Jackson, I say the Giants are better than them.
I'd say easily. You know,
Look. If the Ravens didn't have Lamar, they'd be competing with the Jags.
Yeah, that's obvious to me. And you know what? You brought up your New York Giants, Kory. I mean, you're dressed like a Jets fan today, but I know you're a Giants fan.
Well, that's the only reason why I'm wearing all this green is because they go good with the Gucci socks. Gucci sandals, my bad.
Come on, man.
And I had to put a little swag on it.
You got to come with that style. I get it. But you're New York Giants, right? So, again, they have another preseason game coming up. And, again, the reports out of Giants camp is that, you know, Tyrod Taylor is actually outperforming Daniel Jones. And I'm not really surprised. Well, I am surprised to hear that, actually.
For one, I'm not the biggest Daniel Jones guy. I am so ready for him to get off my team. But I'm not falling for this trap again. I've actually followed Tyrod Taylor's career from when he was in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. That's how long I've been following. I say his best years were in Buffalo, like maybe 1 or 2 seasons. After that, people forget he was the starting quarterback in Houston. Didn't do nothing. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Well, he is a journeyman, and that's the concern, though. Daniel Jones can't beat out a journeyman old quarterback.
I think
that's concerning to me.
Look, it's not concerning to me because look, we all know. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's us here. Daniel Jones trash. Look, we thought he was gonna be Eli 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not working. Look, that first preseason game, it left me so distraught watching the first team reps. I was like, I seen one pass overthrown. I seen too many passes overthrown to Kenny Galladay. Yeah. I'm like this. At this point, if I was Kenny Galladay, I was like this. How much do I have to give back to get off the team?
Yeah, the reason I'm surprised that Daniel Jones isn't at least performing early in camp. I've said it many times on this show. You bring in Brian Dable, you bring in Joe Shane. They're from the Bills. They again, Josh Allen wasn't viewed as a top prospect until, they got in the room with him and then he took off. And Daniel Jones is, he can run a little bit. He's not Josh Allen, but he's Josh Allen-esque. Kind of.
I'll always say this. Talent-wise, Daniel Jones is $1 million. Decision making and actually having the mindset of playing the game of football,
yeah,
it's about a penny.
Yeah, very, very little return on investment in that talent that we've seen. I mean, and the concerning thing to me is that it just quarterbacks usually in the NFL. I mean, this is how it works for any young prospect in sports, right? You struggle a little bit your rookie year, and then you progressively get better year after year. You improve on your game. You get smarter upstairs, and it shows in your stats. Well, Daniel Jones is regressing.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna keep my little strategy, not to myself, but I'm gonna keep Daniel Jones on the roster. He's not gonna be my starting quarterback. You know why? I'm saying in about 3 to 4 years. At 4 years, I'm gonna let him start for a season just so we can tank to get what's Eli's nephew?
Arch Manning.
So we get Arch Manning.
Arch Manning. Wow. Okay. Master plan.
We take it for Arch. We getting the Manning back in the Giants uniform.
So you're passing up on Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud.
I want Manning.
You want the Manning? Okay.
I don't want the off-brand Manning, which is Daniel Jones. I want the actual thing.
Hey man, you know what? I'm actually that'd be something, wouldn't it? That'd be something.
No, the funniest thing would be if like the Saints got him.
Oh, that would be.
Do you know what?
Full circle. Yeah, Archie Manning.
Yeah, I was like, that'd be crazy because you get Archie Manning back in.
Well, you know what, Kory? I don't think it's gonna happen because I'm super high.
Oh no. You got Mr. Eat a Dub this year.
Yeah, he gonna eat plenty of dubs this year, bro. Jameis Winston is gonna have a big year.
Look, y'all gonna be feasting in the NFC South. I can't lie because Falcons trash.
Yep.
Carolina trash. Even though they just announced today that Baker Mayfield will be the starting quarterback on week 1. So it begs the question, right? It begs the question. As I said with Cleveland making a decision to get Jimmy G, or you could go for a cheaper option and see if you can see how much Sam Darnold is going for.
That wasn't one on my radar, but again, Sam Darnold is going to lose that job in Carolina, right? It's Baker Mayfield's job.
He already lost it.
Yeah, he lost it. So...
And I'm like, there's not too many teams that need a quarterback right now.
But you know what? I'm not even high on Jimmy G like that, but he's a lot better than Sam Darnold. Especially for the Browns. Sam Darnold is, what is this, year 4? This year 5 for him.
You remember there was so much high expectation for him after the USC versus Penn State game? Mm-hmm. And then it just went all downhill for them. When was the last time the USC Trojans had a good quarterback come out?
Matt Leinart was fake good.
Super fake good.
Good.
Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer.
That year, when they had Troy Polamalu and all of them, they was cooking.
Hey,
but as of recently, it ain't been it.
He's hopefully he's. I mean, I don't know if I'm the Browns. Again, I don't think they're going to win the division, but they have visions of competing for the division. I'm not trading for a guy that was seeing ghosts in primetime, bro. I'm just not. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Jimmy G is a lot of things, but he never saw ghosts while mic'd up.
Yeah, that was like you was super wilding for saying that on
the
air?
mic. On the mic.
On air, nah. I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not doing that.
Wow, it's been some wild times in New York football as of late, but I'm high on not only the Jets but the Giants. Not this year, but next year. Next year, if y'all, win, y'all 4, 5, 6 games, they might win 7 if everything goes really well and Daniel Jones actually shows you something. But they're going to be competing with the Commanders for 3rd or 4th place.
Yeah, that does not sound right. The Commanders will never sound right.
Never.
I'm sorry, but I'm just be honest with you.
You know what?
They should have kept football team. Football team. I'm not gonna lie. Washington, You had something there.
Yeah.
You had people talking about y'all.
I'm not gonna lie. You took the words right out of my mouth. I'd rather go football team over the Commanders.
Look.
10 times out of 10.
I'm not gonna lie. The uniforms was way better. As to watch it.
Yeah, the numbers on the helmets. Yeah, like the Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm not gonna lie. The Commanders uniform that y'all got now.
Yeah.
Even the all burgundy is trash.
Oh, the all black one is like a Steelers reject jersey. It's terrible.
I mean, to me, the best team in the NFC East right now, if I had to say so, I'm going with the Eagles.
Agreed.
And it's crazy how they can build a team from the inside out. You start with your offensive line. You make sure your defensive line is intact. You go out and go get secondary guys. Your linebackers aren't even the most star-driven. Yeah. You just have solid guys there. And then what you do is, Jalen Hurts is he's not a top 10 quarterback, but he's at that point where he can do enough to win you games.
Absolutely.
You have Miles Sanders, not the best running back, but just good enough. And then you go out and go get a piece like Jalen, you go out and go get a piece that you need in receiver.
A.J. Brown.
That was a smart move.
They have. I've said this on the show a few times. They've set up everything for Jalen Hurts to go in and ball out. We'll know if Jalen Hurts is him.
You know what the funniest thing is that I think they just made a trade for JJ of the receiver. What was the receiver's name?
JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Yes.
Arcega-Whiteside.
And he's going to Seattle.
He's going to Seattle.
The reason why that's so ironic is because he was selected, I forgot how many spots ahead of DK Metcalf.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
now you
goodness.
Now you coming into DK's team, and it's looking like this. If I'm DK, I'm sunning you every day. You a top pick, you my son.
I can't believe the Seattle Seahawks. What a fall from grace. They're really going to have Geno Smith compete with Drew Lock. In the NFC West.
At least they pan over to the sideline. They might get a couple rap lyrics from Drew Lock. Hey, look, DK, you was lucky you got all that money because you about to be in the mud for a couple years.
Yeah. Drew Lock. The only thing that's going to be on Drew Lock's highlight tape is the sideline raps for sure.
The Cardinals, the Rams. The Cardinals, the Rams, and the 49ers, they about to be eating good. Every time they see Seattle on the schedule, like, oh, that's a dub.
Yeah, fried Seahawk for lunch every Sunday afternoon.
Hey, quick question. Did you see that yesterday that they released the NBA schedule?
I did. That's where I want to go next. But first, 516-572-7440. That is the number to call. We're about to get into the NBA schedule release, as Kory mentioned. What were your, give me some highlights that you took away from it. I'm looking forward to this game, the Christmas schedule, some of the national TV games.
They hate us because they ain't us. Everybody jealous because New York got that Christmas game. You see Atlanta, how we get. I like the Minnesota, all these people. You know why? It's because we them guys. Everybody want to get like New York.
You know what? And you about to have me go on a junior rant here. I can't believe, for people to lose their mind about the Knicks playing on Christmas. First of all, again, like you said, Kory, we're in New York. You can't touch New York. If you're in Utah, Minnesota, you're not touching New York, all right? It's not going to happen. And for everyone that's oh, the Knicks are this, the Knicks are that, the Knicks are trash, the Knicks made bad signings, the Knicks made bad trades. Oh, remember Phil Jackson, Steve Mills? You all make the Knicks relevant by hating on them. The Knicks would not get this Christmas game if y'all would not shut up about them every chance you get. They can't shut up about the Knicks.
Like I said,
that's the reason why they're playing on Christmas.
Look, Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. Remember, the only reason why you really got the Christmas game that you got last year is because the little heat that you got from the New York City.
Come on, man. Man.
We let you breathe for a second. We gave you a little hype. And you proved last year that it was unwarranted. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's one game that I'm taking away. That's one game that I'm looking forward to seeing. And then did you see that the NBA is doing a Rivals Week?
I did.
And I'm looking at some of these rivals. I'm like, how is that a rival? I'm guessing they going off this model because I'm looking at Chicago versus Hornets. How is that a rival? Because I'm guessing
it got to be Lonzo and LaMelo.
I'm like, that ain't no rivalry.
No, it is not.
I'm like,
Charlotte and Chicago.
I'm just like, I'm looking to see what the Lakers do, and then I'm like this. Why'd y'all give us Memphis? Why'd y'all give New York Memphis on the first game? Like, y'all want to make us sad on the first day?
You know what? Again, most would pick the Grizzlies to win, but that's a big opportunity for R.J. Barrett. I mean, he's coming into year 4. You got the guy who's picked right before you and is a superstar already, and you're trying to get there. I think it's a good opportunity for R.J. Barrett to kind of show something. First game of the season in Memphis, in Ja's house.
I mean, yeah, but the outlook of this season, I need improvement. I need playoffs, to be honest with you. Now, if we was to get a certain guy with the last name that rhymes with Pitchell or Tissue, named Donovan
Spider,
I would be so happy. But seeing that Stephen A. Smith saying that the Utah wants R.J. Barrett in about 6 picks, I believe.
You trust Stephen A. Smith's reporting?
He do. Unfortunately, he do know something. Look, he don't know. Look, when it comes to outside sports, I don't trust him. Basketball, he does have a lot of inside sources.
But you know that may very well be true. But here's the thing: the Jazz, we know, the whole world knows. Stevie Wonder could tell you that they want to trade Donovan Mitchell, right? They want to trade Donovan Mitchell, get started with the rebuild. So why is everyone just expecting the Knicks to roll over and say, here you go, R.J. Barrett, 5 first-round picks. Oh, here, take Quentin Grimes, too. Take Obi Toppin. Take Emmanuel Quick. Like, why would the Knicks do that? That makes no sense.
My thing is, right, just to get back on the schedule real quick, that I noticed, you look at a team like, I'm like, Donovan, why wouldn't you want to come to New York? Look. Utah has no national national televised games this season.
The NBA knows what's about to happen.
Look,
they know it.
I'm not even gonna go to the NBA TV route because those like I'm going real national televised games. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got 13 national televised games.
Amazing for a team that went 37 and 45 last year.
If you want to be a star, you have to get your brand out there. Your brand is not growing in Utah, my guy.
No, and I'm of the belief he's going to be a New York Knick. It's a matter of when, and it's a matter of what the Knicks are going to give up, which I really don't think is going to be that much because I've said all along, I think the Knicks have leverage. I don't think Utah has any leverage.
What is it? It's a 3-team race between the Washington Wizards, the Knicks, and Hornets?
I think it's a 1-team race. Again, here's the thing, too. Danny Ainge is leaking so much stuff where it's like, oh, the Wizards are interested. The Wizards have a better package than us, really? Really? No. The Hornets? They're not trading anyone big. They're not trading LaMelo. Who else are you going to trade for Donovan Mitchell, who's better than what the Knicks have? It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, nah. Knicks got the young talent. They have the picks. And, unfortunately, if you banking on Knicks' luck, you might be getting like a top 3 pick.
Yeah. Hey. I mean, no, I wouldn't say that. Because you're not high on Jalen Brunson. Is what I'm kind of taking away.
I'm not.
You're not?
This is me personally. Good player. To me, he's just not on that tier of a superstar level.
They're not paying him to be a superstar. You got
they are paying him. No, he's not. He's the first player who has not been an all-star to receive a $100 million contract.
Kory, that's like
guaranteed.
It's literally like the 30th or 40th highest paid contract in the league. It's not superstar level. They're paying him exactly what he's worth, in my opinion.
Cool question.
All right.
Be honest. All right, we're gonna compare. I'm gonna compare you to some stuff.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Who would you rather have, Jalen Brunson or Lonzo Ball?
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson over Lonzo Ball. Hell yeah. More efficient.
Do you know what Lonzo shooting from the 3?
Jalen Brunson's a better shooter overall from the field. Jalen Brunson shot 50% from the field as a 6'1" guard. He's efficient, man.
And what size did you just say? 6'1"? Who is he guarding?
So if you don't have the physical tools to defend, he competes. We saw it in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson competes on defense. Now, again, he's a small guard, right? He's not going to guard everybody and lock up everybody. It's never going to happen. But he competes. In Tibbs' system, that's all you can ask for. He competes on defense, bro.
He's not that guy.
Man.
He's not that guy. He's not him.
You know who is that guy, though?
RJ, Obi.
Well, yes. But as much as I dislike them for being Nets, KD and Kyrie, them guys, right? So
they ain't them guys because we ain't been hearing nothing about them. Like we don't know if y'all guys want to be here. You don't know if you guys. It's always, I hate having to play mind games with players. So it's like we have to figure out what's going on. If you want to be here, say that. If you don't, just look. KD, if you want to go leave, cool, fine. But if I'm the Nets, I'm putting myself in the best position possible. If there's a team that offers a great package, that's where you going.
You know what? It's interesting about this. Again, there was a weird quote. I mean, there's tons of weird quotes from Kyrie Irving, but he said he's quote unquote invested in playing for Brooklyn this season. Which, like, what? What do you mean? He just wanted it out 2 weeks ago. Well, I don't know what's going on in his head, but KD still wants out. Like, Kyrie's saying that hasn't changed what KD wants because he knows Kyrie isn't going to be back here.
Everybody's still speculating that Kyrie actually still wants out and is going to try some way to find his way to LA.
He's going to be a Laker. He's going to be a Laker, whether it's this summer, next summer, he's going to be a Laker. I 100% believe that.
You think that's why LeBron's signed the deal?
Come on, yeah. If we're gonna be honest with it, I think LeBron, he has to know the Lakers are trying really hard. Like LeBron's a smart guy; he's a business savvy. He knows the inner workings of general manager offices.
The Lakers gonna be trash this year if they don't make no moves.
They want Kyrie, and apparently if the Knicks gets
who want Russ? Who want Russ?
Nobody wants Russ, but people would want that contract for cap space moving forward. Or you could trade for him, buy him out.
There's many teams that can do it. Why aren't they? They don't want to deal with Russ for a year.
There's a Mark Stein report that the Knicks, if they do indeed trade for Spider, they would look to move Randall because they're not sure about the fit.
I'm hearing that because Stephen A. Smith even said this, but they said that the Utah Jazz don't want Randall. They don't want him.
No, the Utah Jazz don't want him, but the Lakers would.
I don't think the Lakers
would.
I don't think the Lakers would.
If you get Kyrie Irving and then you're able to make a Westbrook for Randall swap, and the Knicks buy out. Nope, don't make that face. The Knicks buy out Westbrook so he doesn't play a single game for them. Doesn't play a single minute.
Okay, yeah, I'm scared.
No. The Knicks don't need Russell Westbrook. But yeah, I think the Lakers would want that. Why not? But it all depends on Kyrie. If Kyrie's not there, they're not going to just.
But how will he be able to force his way out?
Who?
Kyrie.
I mean, you never know with Kyrie Irving. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know. I never know what Kyrie Irving's going to do. I don't care what nobody
tells me. The Nets are the most unpredictable team this year.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know if they're going to be good. You don't know if they're going to be bad.
And by the way, to that point, you mentioned the schedule release. They got their national TV games sliced in half. I think they only have maybe 13 off the top of my head.
Yeah, because they don't have that excitement that they once was. When they had James Harden, Kyrie, KD, the excitement's there. We have the big three. We can do this. Mm-hmm. There's going to be so much intrigue. But then it all went to garbage. Yeah. It went to trash. Because guess what? They didn't produce. They had literally got swept by the Boston Celtics this year. Mm. And nobody could have predicted a sweep. You're okay, they're going to at least get one. A clean sweep.
Yeah, and you brought up the Celtics, and it's so funny to me that we mentioned KD. So, again, if you're the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, got the Nets out of here. Clean, swift work. So then you make it to the NBA Finals. You lose to a loaded Golden State Warriors team. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, shot them out the gym. And you want to trade for you want to trade Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant. Why exactly? Why? Why would you now? Why would you do that?
KD is a problem.
KD is a problem.
Hey, look. Jaylen Brown did struggle in them playoffs a little bit.
So did Jason Tatum.
I'm just saying, everybody was like this. How are you an NBA player? You can't dribble. He does not have the best handles. I'm sorry.
That's fair. That's fair.
He could get pickpocket real clean with the ball.
Listen, that's fair. But all I'm saying is that, again, some would say that Jaylen Brown isn't even going to re-sign with the Celtics when he's a free agent in 2024, which is why the Celtics would look to trade him, especially if you can get Kevin Durant. But I'm just Here's the problem with Kevin Durant. This is why Kevin Durant hasn't been traded yet. He and the Nets command so much out of your roster that you're sending back to Brooklyn that I know it's Kevin Durant and it kind of sounds crazy, but it would be kind of a lateral move. If you're the Suns, right, and you had to trade, like, again, they're not going to trade Devin Booker, but the Nets, like, oh, we want Devin Booker, we want DeAndre Ayton, we want Mikal Bridges. What would that do for Phoenix? The same with Toronto.
No, it would set them back tremendously.
The same with Toronto, who I think is actually like a sneaky front runner to get him. If you got to trade Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, any that combination of any of those guys, like, really? Like, does that move the needle that much? Again, I know it's Kevin Durant, but he's 34 years old and he's come off a torn Achilles and he's had other injury concerns last year. I don't know. He's Kevin Durant, yes, but he's great. Top 5 player when healthy, but it's just, I don't know. Too many questions for me.
I'm not gonna lie, we've been whizzing through the show today, so on my final topic of today, it goes to just like, did you see in college football, Deion Sanders, he just hired, I forgot, Minnesota's former head coach to help out being an analyst. So I'm like, that just shows you how committed Deion Sanders is to the whole HPC movement, and I believe it provides more light and shines more eyes on these players.
I agree, and Deion Sanders, again, people hate on it, and people say, "Oh, he's purchasing these players," but he's doing a great job. I don't believe that for a second. Actually,
Deion Sanders, look, from what he said, I ain't never coaching a player who make more than me.
So, there you go. They're from prime
time.
Again, we're winding down, like you said, Kory. I'll mention this. We have a regular caller tomorrow, and I can't wait for tomorrow's show. I think I got a big prediction that's gonna make a lot of people mad, but yeah, you'll see it 3:30 tomorrow. But we have a regular caller on Friday's, Dave from Las Vegas, and he says he's been talking about some of the networks and college football, NFL we're going to see in a couple of years. The Big Ten, a $7 billion deal with Fox, CBS, and NBC. And we talk about, like, this is big news, but we talk about the broadcast movement we've seen in the NFL. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman at ESPN.
Hey, cool question. Have you been watching the WNBA playoffs?
I have.
Hey, look, they got something there.
Mm-hmm.
I go front. There was a little controversy with who made the all-rookie team. I seen that. I was like, why would y'all post that?
They ran out of rookies, I guess. Yeah.
No, they be cutting their rookies.
That's true. That's true. How about Sabrina? I watching the game the other day or yesterday. Sabrina Ionescu is
a problem. Might be. I was about to say might be one of the top 3 best players in our pro basketball teams right now.
If she's not, she's definitely on her way, and we are about to be on our way out of here on WHPC Sports Talk. Kory, what's next?
Profumi
d'Italia. I can't wait. She always got a good show for us, Rita. That's it for WHPC Sports Talk today on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. From Joshua Umahi, Kory David. We'll see you tomorrow, 3:30, Friday afternoon. We got a big-time football Friday for you. But until then, so long. Enjoy the rest of your day.
The views expressed on air are not necessarily those of WHPC, its management, or Nassau Community College. Responsible opposing